There is a verse in the Bible that most people read, but very few actually understand. Jeremiah 17:5 says, "Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from mere flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord." Wait, did you catch that? Not someone who hates others, not someone who isolates themselves, but someone who trusts in man fully. That sounds uncomfortable, because we're taught the opposite. Trust your friends, trust your circle, trust the people close to you. But here's what most people never realize. There is a difference between loving people and placing your foundation in them. One builds connection, the other creates vulnerability. And if you ignore this line, it will cost you peace, clarity, and sometimes even your purpose. Today, I'm going to show you 5 types of people you should never fully trust. Not because you should become cold, but because you need to become wise. Stay with me, because the last one is the most dangerous and almost no one sees it coming. Let's start with the deeper truth behind this. Most people think trust is about loyalty, but the truth is, trust is about influence. Whoever you trust shapes how you think, how you feel, and how you move. That's why the Bible warns you not to isolate, but to discern. Number 1, the inconsistent person. This one is subtle because they're not obviously harmful. They're just unreliable. One day they're supportive. The next day they disappear. One moment they stand with you. The next moment they contradict everything they said. James 1:8 says, "A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways." Notice the word unstable. The problem isn't that they're bad people. The problem is you can't build anything solid on instability. But here's what most people miss. Inconsistent people don't just confuse situations. They confuse you. You start questioning your judgment, your expectations, even your own boundaries. And slowly, without realizing it, you adapt to their instability. You lower your standards just to maintain the connection. That's the danger. Because when you fully trust someone who is unstable, you become unstable too. Number 2, the flattering person. This one feels good, too good. They always agree with you, always praise you, always make you feel right. At first, it feels like support, but Proverbs 29:5 says, "Whoever flatters his neighbor is spreading a net for his feet." A net, a trap. Most people think deception looks like criticism, but the truth is, deception often looks like excessive agreement, because flattery doesn't correct you. It keeps you comfortable, and comfort can be dangerous when you're heading in the wrong direction. But here's what most people miss. The flattering person isn't strengthening you. They're positioning themselves. They tell you what you want to hear, so they can stay close, so they can maintain access, so they can influence without resistance. And the more you trust them, the less you question them. That's how traps work. They don't feel like traps at the beginning. Number 3, the emotionally reactive person. This one drains people silently. They're unpredictable. Their mood controls the environment. One moment everything is fine. The next moment there's tension, anger, or chaos. Proverbs 22:24 says, "Do not make friends with a hot-tempered person, or you may learn their ways." Notice something important. It doesn't say, fix them. It says, be careful around them, because emotions are contagious. And if you fully trust someone who is emotionally unstable, you will start adjusting your behavior to avoid triggering them. You'll walk on eggshells. You'll suppress your truth. You'll trade authenticity for peace. But that's not real peace, that's pressure. And over time, it changes you. You become quieter, more anxious, less confident in expressing yourself. But here's what most people miss. When someone's emotions control everything, they don't just influence situations. They control access to your peace. And no human being should have that level of control over your inner world. Number 4, the self-serving person. This one is harder to detect, because they don't always take from you directly. They align with you when it benefits them. They support you when it serves them. They show up when it's convenient. Philippians 2:4 says, "Let each of you look not only to his own interests, but also to the interests of others." But the self-serving person does the opposite. Everything revolves around them. Even their kindness has conditions. Even their loyalty has limits. And here's the dangerous part. They don't always look selfish. Sometimes they look strategic, ambitious, driven, focused. But underneath it all, for you are a means, not a priority. And when circumstances change, so does their loyalty. But here's what most people miss. The self-serving person doesn't betray you suddenly. They reposition themselves slowly, until one day, you realize you were never part of the plan, just part of the process. Number 5, the spiritually disconnected person. This is the one most people ignore, because it doesn't feel obvious. They might be kind. They might be supportive. They might even be close to you. But their values, their direction, their foundation is not aligned with God. Jeremiah 17:5 warns us again, Cursed is the one who trusts in man, whose heart turns away from the Lord. Here's the deeper truth. When someone is disconnected from God, they are guided by something else. Emotions, opinions, desires, fear. And if you fully trust them, you are allowing those things to guide you too. But here's what most people never realize. Influence is silent. It doesn't force you. It shapes you. You start thinking like them, justifying like them, moving like them, not all at once, but slowly. And one day you look back, and you don't recognize who you've become. That's why this one is the most dangerous, because it doesn't feel like a threat. It feels like normal. Now let's bring everything together. Does this mean you stop trusting people? No, it means you stop misplacing trust. Because there's a difference between trusting someone with access and trusting someone with authority over your life. Most people confuse the two, and that's where the damage happens. Here's the truth that changes everything. You were never meant to build your life on people. You were meant to walk with people while being anchored in God. Because people are human. They change. They fail. They misunderstand. But God doesn't. And when your foundation is in Him, people can influence your life, but they can't control your direction. So here's the shift. Trust people with wisdom. Love people with boundaries. Care for people without losing yourself. Because discernment is not rejection. It's protection. And maybe the most important question you need to ask yourself today is this. Who have I given too much trust without enough discernment? Don't answer it quickly. Sit with it. Because clarity is the beginning of change. If this opened your eyes, I want you to do something simple. Type the word discernment in the comments. Not for me, for yourself. As a declaration that you're choosing clarity over confusion. And if you want more content like this, content that helps you see deeper, think clearer, and live wiser, stay connected. Because the next message will take this even further.